Hello again, Chris Curran here at Fractal Recording. And the question someone sent me was, how do I keep track of who is listening to my podcast? Right? That's what, in my experience, the first question in any conversation about podcast shows, the first question is, oh, how many listeners do you have? Right? We're so used to traditional radio and ratings and all this stuff. It's a fair question. I just personally feel that podcasting as a form of social media really can be leveraged and utilized in many more ways than just getting listeners, believe it or not. In fact, having listeners to a podcast show is not the most important thing, in my opinion, for when it comes to business. That might sound crazy. If it's crazy, give me a call. We can chat about it. But for this question, how do you keep track of who's listening? Well, as far as actual numbers of downloads and who's actually listening to what episode, you can't see who's listening, but you can you can see the number of downloads. So you can see that 142 people listened to episode number 11 of my podcast. And there's different ways you can do that. One is in your media host. I just made the video about, having your media hosted somewhere, and your media hosts, especially the one I use called Libsyn, they keep track of every time someone downloads the piece of audio or starts streaming it, they count that. And so you can actually see, it'll keep track of month by month who's downloading it. Might even do day by day, I'm not sure. The other thing is in some of the media publishing outlets like iTunes and Stitcher, you can actually get to see, I know for Stitcher, you can see in the back end, you can see how many people are downloading it through Stitcher. But mostly your media host, like I said, I used Libsyn, that'll track all the downloads because every single download is registered with Libsyn. So I just use one number to see how many people are listening to my podcast. You can also see some of if you use FeedBurner in your feeds as a feed, you can see how many people are subscribed. And even in iTunes, I think you can see how many people are subscribed in iTunes. I could be wrong about that. But what you want to be able to see is who's listening. And the other option you can have is to start like an email list. So on your website or on your podcast show page, have an opt-in box for your email list, because really having people's email is way more valuable than them just anonymously listening to one of your podcast episodes. So in a way, you want people to listen to your podcast, but honestly, in integrating it into your business or your purpose, it's better to have their email. So you should encourage your listeners to sign up to an email list. And again, that's the best way, because then you'll know who it is and you'll know how to reach them all. And you'll be able to, send them some of your content and keep them up to date on everything you're doing, and also share your promotions and offerings with them as well. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there about email lists. I think I have email lists on the brain because I'm doing a show tomorrow about building an email list. But anyway, that's how you can tell who's listening to your podcast and what it really means. If you have any other questions, definitely contact me through the Fractal Recording website, and I'll help you out. We're also on Twitter. It's at Fractal Sound. So, all right. Hope this was helpful. Take care.